Yes, sir. This is the last week for the Thursday Food Bank. We're going to miss the high drama. Last week of this month, October, they'll be shutting down for 2 months at the end of this year so they can regroup and change their whole program around. This is the last week. Didn't go for no high. We did not go without no high drama. We had missed one occurrence that did occur about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was in-house. It was a high drama between the cake lady and one of the volunteers. They had got all upset, but she thought she got more than one. It was down to one and then or two, whatever the volunteers get. And she had took more than what she was supposed to, and they had high drama among themselves. So the cake lady wins out. She gets the high drama award for Thursday's food bank. All of them, she gets the high drama award because she can bring the drama, that's for sure. She said, "Don't make me look bad," because the lady in charge had to bring it. They had got her attention. We had to calm them both down so that everybody can be satisfied. But they had chosen to choose some choice words among each other, but not cuss words. But they had got their dander up and got that high blood pressure up for sure. And sometimes that's just too funny, I just say. It's too funny, but at the end of the day, we seen that they had been taking the chairs away before they serve us the food. So after this year, they won't have to worry about taking the chairs away. They're just going to let us come in and use the bathroom and straight back out to the vehicles or outside and wait till you get your number called or your name called if they have the card. They have the food plastic card for the food bank. If they have that in play, they should have it in play by next year. They're going to start up in January. So we'll be using that plastic card to slide in there with that and scan that card, which, just like they do with the food stamp card. They do with the food stamps. They flip it over to a EBD card or whatever it's EDT or whatever it's called. Some abbreviation, but it's took the place of that food stamp paper money. So EDT or EBT, EBT, I think it's EBT, yeah, EBT card. So I don't know what that stands for neither, EBT. But anyway, we're going to have a card for the food bank. Somebody already showed me their card. And it got all the food bank donators on there. Forgotten Harvest, Gleaners, etc. So eventually I'll get one. Soon as one of these food banks will hook me up with one. And once you get one, it's good for all food banks. So all you got to do is keep up your card. Then people will have, I guess, the option of not letting you come and sign in with your card. If you don't have your card, I don't know what's going to happen. That'll be interesting. And if they have the option to opt out and let you go last or something like that. Or they tell you got to have your card to get some food. So it should be interesting. People going to lose their card, ain't no doubt about that. Or forget to bring it. But they say if you make a copy of it, there's one lady got a copy of it on her phone. That's what she put on. She made a copy of it on her phone, and she said you can use it off your phone and make a copy of it. And have it on your phone so you ain't got to worry about losing the card. She said she left her card at home, or she already got the card, and she got a copy of it on her phone. So she don't forget to bring her phone, which most people don't forget to bring their phones. Because their phone is attached to them. They can't go nowhere without it. They can't live without it and all that stuff. For me, I can live without it. I can put it down and come back for it at home. I can leave it at home and come back for it and go somewhere and not feel like I can't make it without my phone. That it's going to be the end of the world for me. But I'm cut differently. When I was growing up, there was no cell phone. There was no extension like it is now. People wasn't attached to their cell phones. You had to wait until you get home to make a phone call, or you made a phone call from a pay phone. And that was your mobile phone, was a pay phone. And that was a public pay phone that you had to use. That's where I come from, the old school days of a pay phone, not a cell phone. But everybody got a cell phone now, so that's what's happening. You don't hardly see no more pay phones, that's for sure. So that's what's happening with that. Throw that in there. We got one more time this week to go to the Thursday food bank. I went to the Friday food bank and had a little high drama towards the end. this week too. But normally, if she don't have that many people turning out, she would let people double up on the boxes to get rid of them. But this week she had a full. She had more than the normal amount. She had more than 8 or 9. She had about 10 or 15, maybe even 20. I think she might even have 20. So she had a full house. All the tables was occupied, and all the chairs was occupied when I got in at 9:30. So she had been letting people take 2 boxes. But this time she broke it down to 1 box, and she counted every box for every head that's in there. And then at the end of I took my box last because I helped somebody take their box out to their vehicle. And by the time I get back to get the last box, somebody had already took 2 instead of 1. And she knew that she had put around there and turned her back and they had slipped out with 2 boxes versus 1. So she blamed herself for that. And she said, I got to watch them closely now. I got to be right there at the door, make sure that they take their 1 box, if I tell them 1 box, or 2 boxes, if I tell them to. But they took it upon themselves to take 2 boxes. But they got accustomed to that. And if the little green gets in there, if you don't tell nobody, give them a sense of direction, they just take it for granted, then they're supposed to have 2 boxes. So she got caught with that this Friday. So she's going to have to correct that. So everybody get a chance to get a box. And there's one lady who was in there. She was a professional complainer against food banks. She said she don't like coming to food bank, but they put the church in there with the food bank, and they had the pastor in there preaching. And they added that on to it too. But you be there about 2 hours if you're there at 8 o'clock. So she was in there complaining about how she didn't like it. But it kills me that people would come to food banks, and if you don't like the way they're rolling, why are you there? You know what I'm saying? You can go to other places that you don't have to sit there and wait. So you get there, they got your box ready for you. You sign in, get your box, and leave. No conversation. They don't even give you a conversation. It's to do their thing with you, with the food, and that's it. But this one was just sitting there complaining about how bad it was with the church people and all that stuff. And if you're going to be complaining about church and you're in the church, I just don't get that. You know, if you don't want to be in this environment, don't come in this building looking for food and thinking it's going to be in and out. It's not going to be in and out. So that was her first time. So we'll see if she come back next week. They said, notice that was her first time. She said she's going to look out for it next time. So I bet she come back next week. But we'll see if she come back complaining or not. That'll be the trick. And that's what's happened with Friday. So Friday food bank that had some drama 2 weeks in a row. So that might take the place of the Thursday food bank. I don't know, but we will see. It's in early in the morning for me, but it's around the corner, so it's doable. I can do that one. I was waiting to get one in my neighborhood real close. I got one, so I cannot complain. That's for sure. But I went to the Tuesday this week food bank, and somebody should be. Might have to tell these young people about being territorial. There's one guy. He's what I call a loudmouth. He liked to talk loud and like to hear himself heard. So he was loudmouthing it. And me and him met up at the door, and they got the policy that the women go in first and men come in second. So this one time they used the ramp. They normally don't let people use the ramp. They had to keep that door locked with a chain. But this time the lady came up with to the ramp with her kids in a wheelchair. So one of the members there, the guy that's a veteran, he was unlocking the door, but the guy hadn't seen that, so he gonna get in front of me and say, "Hold on, man. You know, you gotta let the women go first." I said, "You look over there and see him unlocking that door." So ain't no women behind us. Oh, okay, yeah. So he took it up for himself that he gonna be the doorman. Even though they got a doorman there, but he thought that made him. He thought that would be his job for the day. So I ain't checking about it because it ain't my place to check. It's not my church or nothing like that. But it's funny how people can get territorial over somebody else's property when you're in somebody else's property. I don't even know if he's a church member there. But anyway, you got a little territory with me for a minute. If you want to get control of that door, you stand in front of the doorway. Something about getting in front of that door, you get a little territorial. One of his homeboys came in later on, and then she had went back and asked her, I guess it's the guy that she's with, could be her man or her husband, come in and help her with the kids, getting themselves at the table, and he thought they were taking cuts. So he was going to raise a little heck about that, but he didn't. And the guy came back and fell back in line with everybody else, but they was about to be out of place. Because if you ain't part of the program, your job is just to lay back, relax, and enjoy the ride, and don't make something out of nothing. And that's how you get a whole lot of stuff started. So anyway, that's why I noticed that they got a little territorial and being a little aggressive. And they're in their 20s, so I understand when you're in your 20s, you're a little aggressive thinking, but sometimes you gotta know where you at. You're not on your turf, and don't be the one that have to be aggressive. If we get numbers, we just get numbers to have numbers. Everybody gonna get the same amount, and so it don't make a difference whether you're number 1 or number 15. They don't do it in order. Just fall in line. Women go first and men go second, and that's the order of business. So we don't get excited about numbers, but they had a lot of people there. And that was the second food bank that I went to, because I went to Monday food bank, and it was jam-packed. So these are the holiday people getting an early start. They are what I call what is the first holiday here? Halloween. Halloween, getting them started already, jamming up the food banks. Around November and December, they have them jam up for the turkeys. I guess they were jamming up for the Halloween candy. They don't come until after Halloween. So I don't know why they were jamming it up. But that's how that went down. So there was at least 50 bags at Monday Food Bank, but at least 90 people out there. Normally there'll be no more, about 70 people at the most. So there's extra 20 people that came to see what they can get. And a lot of times you don't get that much at the Monday Food Bank. It's a hit and miss food bank. It ain't guaranteed. And I got left out this time because I left later than I had planned on leaving. And when I got there, the line was long, so I said, well, yeah, we'd be pushed back about 70, and then they waited in their cars, so you can't really get a good number on who all in front of you until about 1 o'clock when the door opened. So some of these people had to be there at 12 o'clock to be the first in line. And I'm not going to be there waiting at 12 o'clock, waiting on no food for a whole hour. It's not that important. So we'll see what happens this Monday coming up. It's next Monday. It'll be November. So that'll be time for these people that are chasing after the turkeys to start coming out for Thanksgiving and the Christmas turkey. So they'll be jamming up these food banks for the next 60 days until the second holiday is over, which is Christmas. They'll have to jump. It'll be, they want to know what's happening in case they have to sign up to be the first one to sign up to get something. They're looking for it. So that happens every year, and that's just the way it is. So we'll see what happens as the week goes on. Got 2 more days to go this week. I'm going to try to hit a Thursday, but the weather's a little wet, and these outdoor events I don't do in the rain. So I'm going to try to do that last Thursday with the High Drama Food Bank, then do a Friday, and I have this week wrapped up. So that's what's happening with the food bank. And nothing much happened with the bike. I didn't get that gasoline bike started yet. That's my next adventure. My 2 electric bikes. So I got to rewire them wires from the battery. The battery heats them wires up. So I got to buy me some connections. I see every once in a while I just got to rewire the bike. Put new wiring in there. But I can't keep them separate enough, but they don't touch and they heat up. And that's what the problem is. They're heating up when they touch it. So I need more separation. So I'm just going to keep rewiring it so they don't short out. But we coming up in the winter months, and the battery operated bikes can't do nothing with this with the wind in the wintertime. It slows them down, and the battery drains with the cold weather. So it's not a good match for winter. It's a good summer, it's a good spring, summer, and fall bike, but it's not a winter bike, not the electric bike, not the ones that I get. They don't have that. They don't have enough thrust to go cut through the wind. And the battery don't have enough staying power. They don't keep a charge long enough before you can have a long run on it. You shorten your run time, and that's for sure. But we didn't get all the trellis done this year. I'm a little disappointed. I got to get the trellis done and the bike done this month, November. I'll be dedicated to doing that. Get all my trellis up and running, all my prototypes up, painted and everything up and running, and then it won't be no excuse next year. But this year, it was a year I just got distracted and then didn't pay the attention. All the bikes I had set up to make a homemade trailer, I ended up hooking them up and giving them away to kids. So I'm not going to do that this year coming up. I'm not going to plan on doing it. Plan on finishing up the trailers first, then I give away bikes. And I have all my homemade trailers hooked up this year. I got most of them hooked up. Some of them I just got to be painted, and some of them I got to put on bikes. I probably have to put it on the manual bike. I wanted to put it on the battery-operated bikes, but that didn't happen, especially with the chain-driven one. I'm still working on putting the second one together. The first one didn't work out for me. But we had some setbacks with that. But this was a setback year for me with everything that went down. But we still surviving. We're still around to see another day, and that's the main thing. So it is time to ring that bell and let us know that it is time to go. That's for sure. And we'll see you later. Adios, amigos.